హలో, వినపడుతోందా నేను మాట్లాడేది?
Sir,
సార్
we
క్లియర్
can
ఉంది
hear
వాయిస్.
ఏమ్మా?
క్లియర్ ఉంది సార్.
we can hear it, sir. We can hear it.
ఓకే, నో ప్రాబ్లం. ఓకే,
Thank you, sir.
రైట్. నేను కనబడుతున్నా కదా, ఇబ్బంది లేదు. విజిబుల్, ఆడిబుల్.
Visible, sir.
Am I visible, audible? రెండు.
బోత్ సార్.
Both, sir.
Both. Okay, right. Thank you. This
We
already.
can see and we can hear, sir, both.
Thank you so much. So in the previous yesterday's class, we have discussed about the unit number 3. Unit number 3, yes. So in the unit number 3, we have studied about the various aspects relating to the production function, then supply function, and what are the various types of production functions, and what are the laws of production function, and so on. Production, that is creating some sort of utility, that is I explained in the previous class yesterday. When I spoke to you yesterday, production means conversion of a basic raw material into the finished goods. Creating, that is conversion of basic raw material into finished goods. That means, yes, if you have any doubts, always welcome. Hello, is it clear?
క్లియర్ సార్.
Right. So what is production? Production function. That is production basically creation of some sort of utility. Basic raw material into finished goods. Converting a wooden log into a table, conversion of raw rice into meals, and so on and so forth. Conversion of iron into iron table and chairs and so on. So this gives us utility. What is types of utility? There are basically 4 types of utilities we have discussed in the previous session. That is form utility, time utility, place utility, and service utility. Form utility, that is changing the form of the particular product. And from wooden log to table, form utility. Then time utility. When we are talking about the time utility, keeping the time, that is keeping or storing the product for a specific period of time, that is called as that is said to be time utility. So time utility, then we talk about place utility. In that, place utility means changing over the place of the particular item. When we are changing the place, that also creates utility. That is from one place to the another. From one place to the another, if it is changed from that, then it creates some sort of utility. Then lastly, service utility, which is created by rendering the services from one person to the another. That is, I am rendering the services, that is called as service utility. When all these aspects are covered, that's said to be production. Then I explained about the concepts relating to production function. What is actually the production function? Production function basically refers to the factors which influence the production, factors which influence the quantity of output. How many factors that are there, and what is the various factors of the production? That is earlier also we have discussed land, labor, capital, and organization. These are various 4 factors of the production. So in the first very beginning of the classes, when I'm teaching about, then land, labor, capital, and organization, these are 4 factors of the production. Whereas what is the influence of these 4 factors on the production quantity, that is studied by the production function. When we are talking about production function, it reflects what is the impact of land, what is the impact of labor, what is the impact of capital, what is the impact of organization on the quantity of output that we are able to produce. That is said to be the production function, right? This is also given yesterday in that. In the assumptions of production function, which I have given you in the page number 114, it is given the 7.4 paragraph number. That is assumptions of the production function that you can mug up and understand. Then 7.6, that is Cobb and Douglas production function, that I have yesterday explained you. That is Cobb and Douglas, both are economists. Statistically, they inquired about what is the impact of labor and what is the impact of capital on the production quantity. What is the impact of elasticities also they have studied. We have studied about price elasticity, cross elasticity, income elasticity, and so on. In the same way, what is the impact of labor? What is the impact of capital on that? That is also studied by them, and how the labor change in the percentage of labor is going to affect the change in the percentage of output. That is studied by them, which is known as Cobb and Douglas function. So that is represented by Q is equal to A into L to the power of B, L to the power of B, and K to the power of 1 minus B, which is given the equation form that is given in page number 115 under paragraph number 7.6. That points you have to understand. Then that is Cobb and Douglas production function. Then I have explained about law of variable proportions, which is known as law of one variable output. So what is the impact of change in one variable on the quantity of output that is studied in this law of variable proportions, which is known as a production function with one variable input. This is the important aspect already we discussed. What is the impact of change in one variable on the quantity of output that is studied with the help of the one variable input factor. If all other things kept constant, and only changing the quantity of labor, then what will be the impact on the production function that is studied? What is the impact of labor on the change in the production? So if I change over the component of labor, only, and by keeping all other things constant, then what is the change in the production quantity that is studied with the help of law of one variable input? If I go on changing the labor element, what is its impact on just 1 second, 8th January. What is the impact of labor on the production quantity that is studied with the help of the labor variable input? That is labor constantly increasing at the very increasing, that is called as marginal increase. Then at a point of stage, it will be constant. Then in the third stage, the marginal output that will be negative. That is what is marginal output. Earlier we have discussed, and in that it's called unstable. Is it clear? One of you confirm? Hello.
Yes, sir.
అమ్మా వినబడుతుందా అండి?
వినబడుతుంది సార్.
పిక్చర్ అయితే ఎట్లా క్లియర్ గా
సార్.
ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ ఇంటర్నెట్ అన్స్టేబుల్ అని మెసేజ్ వస్తుంది, అందుకని చూస్తున్నాను అన్నమాట. ఓకే, మీకు వినబడకపోతే చెప్పండి. రైట్. సో when we are talking about in the first stage, if you are constantly increasing the labor element, then it is increasing the marginal production. What is marginal production? More and more we produce, more and more the output should come. By increasing one additional labor, what will be the increase in the output? That is called as marginal output, marginal production. By adding one more additional labor, how much of the production that I can increase? That is called as marginal production. So if I increase from one labor to two laborers to three laborers and so on, what is the change in the output, total output, that is studied? And what is the change in the marginal product, that is also studied. In the first phase, it is identified that the marginal production is gradually increasing. In the second stage, it is observed that marginal production is constant. In the third stage, marginal production is decreasing, that is it becomes negative. So that means one variable input factor, if we are constantly increasing, other variable factors cannot absorb this particular variable, and finally the output will decrease. This is studied in case of law of variable proportions. Then I explained about law of, then the graph is given in the page number 118 actually in the material book, but in the PDF formats, the page numbers may be here and there. But figure 7.2, that is figure 7.2, that you take it, and that will be useful for
Page
you.
number is 126, sir. In other books, page number is 126.
126, right? Okay, 126 అంటే మీరు you are advanced by 6 pages. Okay, so this graph will show you how
Sir, we
the
don't have graph, sir.
ఉంటుందండి.
లేదు సార్ మా దాంట్లో గ్రాఫ్ ఇవ్వలేదు 7.2 లో.
ఈ టేబుల్ ఉందండి.
సార్ మా పేజ్ నెంబర్ వచ్చేసి 7.2. 1 minute సార్. 7.2 122 ఉంది సార్ పేజ్ నెంబర్.
122 ఉండొచ్చు.
లేదు సార్ గ్రాఫ్ ఏమి ఇవ్వలేదు మాకు.
చూడండి PDF బుక్ అండి, అదే బుక్ ప్రింట్ అయింది కదా. 7.1 7. మీకు పారాగ్రాఫ్ నెంబర్ చూసుకోండి. 7.8 పారాగ్రాఫ్ నెంబర్. అవును సార్, పారాగ్రాఫ్ నెంబర్ 7.8.
7.8 1 minute సార్.
చూడండి 7.8 లా ఆఫ్ వేరియబుల్ ప్రపోర్షన్స్
ఇవ్వలేదు సార్. ఇవ్వలేదు సార్ అది.
YouTube lecture. Okay. Then lesson number in this particular lesson, it's okay. Then lesson number 8, law of returns to scale, is also discussed in the previous class. So there are 3 types of returns we have understood. This is also paragraph number. You go by paragraph number, that is better always. Paragraph number 8.3. Paragraph number 8.3. There is law of returns to scale. So here 3 types of returns to scale, sir, are identified.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir. Always.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Otherwise, how it will be and how it will be going on with that. So in the case of returns to scale, what is returns to scale and what is the production function with returns to scale? If you, in the very first lesson, just now what we discussed, we changed 1 unit of labor, that is 1 factor of production, that is labor only. Whereas in the second, now we are going to identify what is the change in the production quantity by changing all the factors of production. Not only 1 factor, all the factors, but all the factors. That means we are going to study what is the impact of change in the labor and capital on the production quantity. In the first phase, law of variable proportions, we studied what is the impact of change in the labor on the production quantity. Now we are going to study about what is the change of labor and capital. If we change, what is the impact of production, what is the impact on the production quantity, that we are going to study in case of returns to scale. In that, it is given in the 8.1 table, in the given table number 8.1, it is mentioned that 1 worker plus 1 acre of land, that gives total output of that is 8 units and so on. So in the same way, you can elaborately write as 1 unit of labor and 1 unit of capital, then 2 units of labor, 2 units of capital, and like that you can go on increasing the input factors. When input factors are increasing, what is observed that in the very first stage, how much percentage of increase you raise, what is the percentage of output that you are going to get, that is studied. So it is observed that in the very first stage, increasing returns to scale, 3 stages are identified here. One is increasing returns to scale, second one is decreasing returns to second one constant returns to scale, third one is decreasing returns to scale. When we are talking about increasing returns to scale, then we say that what is the percentage of output, input factor we are increasing, then the output will increase further. So if I increase the input factor by 10%, my output factors will increase more than 10%, then it is considered to be increasing returns to scale. Then when we are talking about increasing returns to scale, when percentage of increase in the input factor is 10%, then the output will increase by more than 10%, then that is considered as increasing returns to scale. When the percentage of increase in the input factors, it is say 10%, if the output is also increasing by 10% only, then it is considered as constant returns to scale. If the increase in the input factor is 10% and the output increase is less than 10%, that is said to be diminishing returns to scale. These three aspects that we have studied, and with the table number 8.1 and figure number 8.1, graph is small graph is given. That graph also you can use it in that. This one. So this graph you can use it, and by with the help of the graph you can elaborately on this. One is increasing
sir.
returns to scale, constant returns to scale, and diminishing returns to scale. These points you can write down. Then, along with that, I have given you a small introduction about the economies of scale. That is savings in the cost. If it is more and more we produce, internal economies of scale, external economies of scale. Internal economies of scale are the economies which arises due to the level of operation, and it gives about that how much you can increase, have save because of the change in the management decision within the output level of the organization, how you can increase. This is given as the point in that. So when we are talking about the increasing returns, we're talking about economies of scale, that is internal economies of scale, which is talks about the change in the operational factor. If you produce more and more, you will buy the raw material more, you will have transportation facilities, you can increase, and like that, managerial facilities. These aspects that we have studied yesterday, that is production economies, labor economies, financial economies, transportation economies, managerial economies, and so on and so forth. Then, along with that, we have studied about the other aspects that is considered as external economies of scale, which are not there in the which are not there in the hands of the external economies, or economies which are arising out of the various factors which are not in the control of the organization. Then such type of economies are said to be external economies of scale. And lastly, we have discussed about the diseconomies of scale. Diseconomies of scale basically refers to the diseconomies of scale refers to the negative economy. That means instead of savings, we will get losses, or we will get increase in the cost. Then such a way, whatever the case may be, if the cost is increasing further, then it is considered as diseconomies of scale because of that. So what are the diseconomies? These are just the opposite side of the economies of scale. That is, factors of input may be lesser and lesser, managerial problems and all. This is given in the 8.5 paragraph number with 8 points. These are the most important elements. Then number 9, unit number 9, that is given in supply function. In the supply function, law of supply, what is supply? Actually, quantity offered for sale. This is also done in the briefly. So quantity offered for sale at a specific price, that is considered to be supply. So the supply function, again, what are the various factors? This is also demand function, same as demand function, sorry. So when we are talking about, from where you are talking about, that is supply function basically tells us about what are the various factors that are influencing the supply. They are called, and the relationship between supply quantity and supply factor, that is considered to be law of supply. That is considered to be supply function. Supply function S is equal to, say, price, etc., price T and all like that, it will be expressed. Then law of supply, what the law of demand you have studied. When the price increases, demand decreases. When the price decreases, demand increases. When the price increases, demand decreases. When the price decreases, demand increases. This is law of demand. This is just supply demand. Supply law is law of supply, is just opposite side of that one, that is said to be when every supplier wants to sell their goods at a higher and higher price, not at the every supplier wants to sell their products at a higher and higher rate. So if the price increases, automatically he will increase the supply, whereas when the price decreases, he will reduce the supply. So in this manner, if the price increases, supply increases. If the price decreases, supply decreases. This is known as a law of supply. This is known as law of supply. Then what are the supply function is given in the page number 9.3. That is also an important aspect that we have to understand. And law of supply, supply curve and supply schedule. These are very similar to the demand concept, and supply schedule offer set, that the supply schedule refers to the various quantities offered for sale at various prices. That is tabular form. And supply curve represents graphical representation of supply schedule, that is known as supply curve. There is an upward rising curve. This is given in the 9.4.2, 9.4.2, that is supply curve, and this is supply schedule that is given in the before that. So these two will be given, these two are important aspects that you have to understand in case of supply. And with that, we have completed yesterday these all these aspects. Then cost, revenue, and profit analysis. This in this case, the page number 145 in the book. That means nearly it is 151, I think. Unit number 2, 10.1. Unit number 1, unit number 10, 10.1. 10.3 types of costs are given. Unit 10.3, the types of costs are given. That is money cost, real cost, explicit cost, implicit cost, opportunity cost, alternative cost, and all. That cost classification that you can understand in that. So, what are the different types of costs you have to understand in that? Some of the costs which are directly related to the quantity of output, some of the costs are not related to the output. So, money cost, the costs which are directly spent with the help of money paying out, real cost, that is an explicit cost, implicit cost. The costs which are identifiable directly are for a specific type of product or which is paid for that, that is called as explicit cost. Whereas implicit cost are the costs which are of self-owned, that is salary for the own employer, rent for our own building. These are all considered to be implicit costs. So these are the important points that you have to follow. Then in the
Sir, we need to learn this all costs, alternative
types of,
opportunities.
that is the reason, yes, that is the reason why I am giving only 2 or 3 types of costs here. Explicit cost, implicit cost, opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? The cost of decision, that is opportunity cost, is necessary to involve the sacrifice, is defined as the next best alternative which is foregone. This is given in the page number, page number you refer to that. Nearly it is 152, I think. Paragraph number,
157.
yeah, 157. Then 10.33. Side heading number 10.33.
Opportunity cost and alternative cost.
Yes, 10.32 back, 10.31. Then you refer to 10.4.1, fixed cost.
10.4.
10.4.1, yes,
Fixed cost.
10.41. Yeah, fixed cost. The cost which fixed, that is means the cost which does not vary with the volume of output. If whatever the quantity of food that you produce, that is considered to be fixed. For example, salary for the manager, rent of the building, how much quantity you produce, that cost will be constant, that is considered to be fixed cost. Then 10.4.2, variable cost. What is the variable cost? Cost which varies with the volume of output. If the cost volume increases, the cost increases. If I am producing 10 units, my cost is 10 rupees variable. Then if I produce 12 units, my cost will be 12 rupees. For example, material cost. If I produce more quantity of output, I use more amount of material, then my material cost will increase. So this type of costs are said to be variable costs. So this classification of cost on the basis of variability, you can understand. And
So there are any
normally,
short PDFs or notes to get this idea, because there are long of text
just
written
one,
over here.
sir, 1 minute, sir. చెప్పండి.
Sir,
చెప్పండి,
because
sir.
there are a lot of text right over here, right? So you are explaining in very easy and clear manner. So is there any PDF or notes so that we can get it like in short manner?
Lede, I am not having any such type of materials with me. Only each and every paragraph, if you read, one thing I can suggest, if you read once, that 8 to 10 lines are there in the figure. Out of 8 to 10 lines, you can simplify it maximum to 2 to 3 lines. This is also possible now. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
I,
sir.
I am not having anything like
Okay.
that. And lastly, we can go with the short-term cost curve. So actually, when there is a short-term cost curve, what are short-term costs? What are long-run costs? These are the two important aspects in this particular lesson. Then in the page number, table number 10 point, you refer to 10.4.3. 10.4.3. In the
Total cost.
10.4.3, yeah, it is given elaborately on the total cost table, that is total fixed cost, total variable cost, and total cost to average fixed cost. AFC means average fixed cost. ABC, average variable cost. The calculations are given clearly that you can understand. And if you are able to draw this particular curves, 10.1 in that, 10.1 S-shaped curves. This is the nature of the short-term cost curves. This is the nature of the short-term cost curves. That points you can remember and understand. Then another type of costs that is called as long-run cost. So in the long run, what all the costs that are fixed that also becomes variable. What is the characteristic nature is that long-run costs, all the costs are variable. There is no concept of fixed cost. Then just 1 second, page number is 10.7. This is a curve that is given. This is slightly for your understanding aspect. With that, we complete this lessons, and you can directly go to profit analysis. 10.9. 10.9 profit analysis. What is the concept of profit? What is the nature of profit? That is also important to learn over. The profit is the net income of the business after all the costs like rent, wages, etc., which have been deducted from the total income. This is known to us. What is profit? Total income minus expense. Then it is concept of profit. So actually, earnings for the where are concepts of profits are also there in that initial and accounting profit and economic profit, that is given as a check your progress 5. That one you understand on this. And what is accounting profit? Accounting profit is one which is carried out only explicit costs, and economic profit is one where the opportunity costs are also divided, subtracted. Then what are the functions of profit? This is briefly given in the 6 points in the paragraph number 10.11. What are the profit? Profit is basically a measure of operational efficiency. Higher the profit, we say that the firm is more efficient. Profit is premium to cover up all the expenses and business replacements, obsolescence, risk and uncertainty. Unless profit is there, no firm can go for the expansion of business activity. Profit is the source of internal finance. Sometimes when we need more amount of finances, when we need more amount of funds, whatever the profit that is achieved or whatever ascertained in the previous years, that can be used as the basis for that. Profit is the level or rate of the financial decision making. How much profits we are having, based on that, you can go with the expansion activities of the business. Factors. What are the various factors affecting the level of profit? That is given in 10.12, paragraph number. Short-term factors and long-term factors are given. Short-term factors basically talk about production life cycle. Sir, please mute. Well, if you have any doubt, always open. Otherwise, please mute. A participant has enabled closed captioning. Yeah. Yeah. When we are talking about the various factors affecting the level of profit. So production level, demand for the product, and competition oriented, all these factors that you have to understand. Marketing and government policy, these are also affect the factors which is also affect the profits. Then long-term factors are basically concerned with the long-term profits or the deposits or the depends on the growth of the firm. So like that, 4 points are given in the factors of the production which are affecting the profit aspect. So with that, we have completed about this particular unit, and then so till that it is already 2:11. So I wish to express this is the last class actually given as per the schedule. If you have any doubts, always welcome. Any doubts? Participants to unmute and they can ask it now. If you have any doubts, welcome. Okay. Any problem? Yes, tell me, tell me. Hello?
Sir,
Different, sir.
you told about factors affecting level of profit. So
Yes,
you need to learn this short-term and long-term factors both. For it will come in the exam, sir.
maybe they, whether it comes in the exam or not, that is
Yes,
different.
it's like probability, right? It will come in SPQ.
That is one of the important aspects that you have to learn. And
Okay, sir.
moreover, I think this is the last class as far as my knowledge is concerned. If the academic university conducts any other class, it's okay. But always, I suggest all the students to go by unit-wise preparation. And while you are going with the unit-wise preparation, and all the units are having equal weightage, and along with that, unit number 4, unit number 5, there is also you are expected to prepare. And basically, in the unit number 11, there is a break-even point, break-even chart, assumptions of break-even. That is 11.3, 11.4. These are the some of the aspects that you have to understand. And 11.8 advantages of break-even analysis and 11.9 limitations of break-even analysis. These are the important aspects that you have to understand about this one. Then you block number 5, that is market structures are given in that. In that classification of markets and on that, what is the market and how these market elements are to be identified. A market is a place where the goods are offered for sale and where the buyers and sellers put together, they will come up. Yes, yes, unmute and talk. చెప్పండి దీక్షిత్ సాయి చెప్పండి మీ డౌట్స్ ఉంటే చెప్పండి ఫాస్ట్గా. Right. When we are talking about the market, the elements of market, they So when we are talking about the classification of markets, actually on the basis of size, on the basis of time, on the basis of number, these are all given. And actually, and on the basis of time, the markets are subject. Price discrimination aspects are also is one of the important elements of the basic economic aspects in this. Then price and output determination and a perfect competition, that is unit number 13. In that, what is a perfect competition? Of number 30. Is perfect market. What are the characteristics of perfect market? And a large number of buyers and large number of sellers will be there, and all the products are said to be homogeneous in nature. That means in the case of perfect market, any person can enter into the market, any buyer can buy, whereas any seller can produce and sell. And all the products are assumed to be homogeneous in nature. What is homogeneity? Homogeneity means all the products are same and similar. Then free entry, free exit. Any manufacturer can enter into the production and any manufacturer can exit out of the production. That is the third characteristic. And perfect knowledge about the entire market. That means every manufacturer is known about what is the market condition, what is the market structure, what is the price, and so on and so forth. And absence of the transportation cost is another important feature of the perfect market. What is the absence of transportation cost? Whether you produce and sell any part of the country, we assume that it is only an assumption that the entire transportation cost is nil. And absence of advertisements, there is no advertisement, and no manufacturer should advertise about their product. And perfect mobility of factors of the production. What are the factors of production? That is land, labor, capital, organization. All these factors are perfectly mobile. That means all these aspects that are considered in this. In that, if all the features are there in any market, then it is considered as a perfect market. But actually, in the economics itself, it is said that perfect market is a myth because it does not exist. Everywhere there is a transportation cost. Every manufacturer, he wants to produce the goods in the differentiated nature, but not a homogeneous nature. So, for example, a toothpaste. How many types of toothpaste we are looking after? But if all the toothpastes are same and similar, then it is considered as homogeneous. This product homogeneity will not be there in any of the situations in the real market condition. And there in this 8 character price. What is the concept of equilibrium of the firm in case of perfect market? That is explained in paragraph number 13.4. So two conditions are to be observed in the case of equilibrium of the firm. That is called as marginal cost and marginal revenue both must be equal. If the marginal cost and marginal revenue both must be equal, and marginal cost curve must cut the marginal revenue from below. If these two conditions are satisfied, then it is say that perfect market is in equilibrium. This is given in figure graph number 13.3 that is mentioned in that. If the marginal revenue, marginal cost curve cuts the marginal revenue from below, then it is considered as the equilibrium of the firm. So these are what are the characteristics of equilibrium, what are the characteristics of perfect market, and how to determine the equilibrium in case of the perfect market. These are the two aspects that we have understood now, and then we will go by the another one, that is price and output determination under imperfect competition. What is a perfect competition? What is an imperfect? Markets are basically characterized based into two types basically. One is a perfect market, another is the imperfect market condition. Perfect market is we have studied, whereas imperfect market is one where the manufacturers produce different types of products, where the manufacturers produce different types of products and the products are different, prices are different, transportation cost will exist. All these aspects that are considered in the case. So one of the imperfect market condition that is called as monopoly. What is monopoly? The word monopoly is itself derived, that is figure 14.2 paragraph number. It is in the lesson number 14, unit number 14. Now, price and output determination under imperfect condition. Then 14.2 paragraph number, monopoly, that is determined under, that is derived from the words of competition, two words combination. One is mono and other is poly. Mono means single, poly means selling. Single person selling every product to entire country, then it is called as monopoly. If only one seller is selling, many people, almost all the people are buying the same product from him, then it's called as. So if the person wants to buy that product, he must buy from that particular manufacturer only. Then that is considered as a monopoly. One of the examples I came to understand is that railway tickets. All the railway tickets in India, it is monopoly. So even though centers are there, but they are issued by only railway authorities. That is called as monopoly. So in such a case, all the products are there, are supplied by only one manufacturer. That is considered as the monopoly. Then 14.2.1, it is given as characteristics of monopoly. The main features of monopoly are single seller and large number of buyers are there. Second one is, again, product is homogeneous, absence of close substitutes. That means we cannot substitute our product with one another. Then restriction on the entry of the new forms. Then no other forms are allowed into the market because we cannot have a private railway now. That is also the reason. This type of restrictions will be there from the government aspect. So these are said to be various characteristics of the monopoly. So it is given in the 14.2, that aspect that you can understand. Price and output determination under simple monopoly, that is given in the 14.3, and the 14.2, 14.3, pure monopoly, simple monopoly, and natural monopoly, legal monopoly, public monopoly. What are the types of monopoly that you can you can understand on that, these aspects. So price and output determination under monopoly is another important aspect in that. So determination of price is based on the following assumptions. Simple monopoly, we assume very low cross elasticity is there between the products. Products are rational. Every manufacturer aim at maximum amount of profits only. Full competition in demand aspect. This is 14.3 paragraph number I am talking about. No price discrimination, that is charging the same price for all the buyers. Uncontrolled power of the monopolist. These are the various factors that we will consider in case of the monopoly factor. Then in the figure 14.2, that is given as a price and output determination under monopoly aspect. These aspects, if you are able to understand, that will be better for you. And I sincerely advise all the students to through all the aspects, and I wish you all the success in your coming examinations actual. And each and every concept, if you read well, then definitely it is easy to understand. Subject is easy only, don't worry. And I sincerely advise all the students when I am addressing to the physical classes also. Concentrate on essay questions, concentrate on multiple choice questions, bits as well as the filling in the blanks. And if you mug up, then if you buttify, it becomes a problem. If you understand and write, just now, one of our student, Abdullah, I think Abdul, is telling that you are telling very short and very short, only one line. I got it. I read. That's all. If you really understand what is the concept of that, then you can write any pages together, or you can cut short. What is the fixed cost, which does not vary with the volume of output? That's it. If you remember that particular line, then you can elaborate or you can condense. Where it comes only out of reading, understanding by itself. That is very, very important. Read, depend only on the textbooks, materials and all, and read every lesson perfectly, understand every lesson perfectly. Okay. If you have any doubts, always welcome. While writing the examination also, be thorough on the concepts, write the question numbers perfectly, write the question numbers visibly, then elaborate writing, introduction aspect, and then write appropriate answers to the questions, and all that will help you to score well in this examination. Okay. Last 5 minutes to conclude upon. Any doubts from your side? Tell me. Yes, Sai Kumar, tell me. No problem, it is open to you. Sir, చెప్పండి. Any problem to unmute? Yes, Sai Kumar. And if you have any problem, sir, చెప్పండి.
Sir,
చెప్పండి.
sir,
Tell me,
Cobb
sir.
Douglas function variable. I have read about this in the material. This is the most repeated question in the model papers. So can you
Okay.
explain like what do you mean by Cobb Douglas function variable?
Cobb and Douglas production function, that is nothing but Cobb and Douglas, they have analyzed what is the impact of elasticity of labor, elasticity of capital on the quantity of units produced. So they have studied about labor and capital influence on the production quantity. They studied along with the labor and production, they studied about elasticity of labor and elasticity of capital. They have explained the quantity of output production with the help of the equation, that is Q is equal to A into L to the power of alpha plus K to the power of beta, where beta is equal to 1 minus alpha. So like that, they studied on that. Next. Chapman sir. Anything?
Sir, wealth definition of economics.
It is given by Adam Smith, and wealth definition is given. Basically, it studies about the how to create wealth, how to generate wealth and all. It is study of wealth.
How to create wealth and how to generate wealth.
Generate wealth and how to use wealth for the wealth. This one. Next.
Okay, sir, I'm noting it down as well. Okay, sir. The next question is about discounting principle.
These are there in the discounting principle. Basically, talks about the time value of money.
Time value.
Sir, instead of going by book, if you have any general doubt, that is useful to all.
Yes.
So, but this
Sir,
no problem.
like there is a big question like break-even analysis.
Yes.
It will come in a long answer, I think.
Break
So
even
can you briefly explain, like it will be easier for us to understand, right?
Yeah, break-even analysis actually just now I have given you, but it is graphical nature. So that is why theoretically it is difficult to explain. Break-even analysis unit number 11. What is exactly break-even analysis? Break-even analysis refers to the break-even point. Actually, break-even point is decided by break-even analysis. Okay, break-even point is the point at which the manufacturer does not have any profit or loss. So it is the point at which total cost is equal to total revenue. So how many number of units that are to be sold to recover the cost, how much amount of sales he has to make to recover the cost, that is analyzed by the break-even analysis. The break-even point can be expressed as a cutoff point between the total cost line and total revenue line. It is given in the page number 160. Yeah, paragraph number 11.3.
11.3.
Right, that graph you practice.
Okay, sir. This one graph, okay. Break-even chart.
Yeah, break-even chart, along with that assumptions are there, and this
Yes, sir.
along with that 11.8 advantages and 11.9 limitations of break-even analysis is also discussed. Okay.
Limitations also, sir. Okay.
Yes. That is altogether coming out.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your patience listening all the way. Wish you all the best for your coming examination. Bye.
Thanks.
Any more doubts from any other one? Okay, thank